Okay, video 4. Let's get hyped up. I'm starting to feel bored. I honestly don't care because I think if I do 6 videos for you today, then there's no getting away from it. No one can say, "Oh, so I don't want to do any multiple choice." You've got to, because I spent my entire Saturday making videos for you. I will kick off. I will probably actually cry. I'll cry in front of you. I don't care. Don't find that embarrassing. Okay, so get on with these videos. They're going to make a difference. Right. So we've got economic growth is best defined as an increase in. No, economic growth we know is an increase in the productive capacity of the economy, right, as measured by GDP. So inflation rate, that's wrong. Wage rates, that's wrong. There we are. There's the one we want. The answer is D. Right, moving on quickly. Not that quickly. Oh, it's another chart. But remember, we love charts because everyone else in the country looks at a chart and they feel sad. Not us. We look at it and we think, yes, we've practiced these, we've got them. Okay? It's just initially when you first look at them, you think, I don't know what's going on. Right, here we go. It's shown economic growth and unemployment in Ireland between 1997 and 2000. So the lighter one is GDP, the other one's unemployment. Right, the chart shows economic growth was higher in 1997 than 1998. Right, this is the right answer because I looked at the mark scheme and that's what it told me. So let's work out why it's the right answer. Okay, economic growth was higher. So in 1997, the country was growing at a faster rate than they were in 1998. Well, that's true because economic growth in 1997 was 10.2% growth, whereas in 1998 economic growth was 8.1. Now, the thing that might confuse you, I suppose, is GDP in 1998 would be higher than it was in 1997 because it would be 8% higher than it was in 1997. But the actual amount of economic growth in the country was higher in 1997 than it was in 1998. It's a slight difference. I mean, they're trying to get you there. So look at the other ones and see why the other ones are wrong, and maybe you'd get it by working out what's wrong. Okay, total labour force declined between 1997 and 2000. Well, unemployment went down as a percentage of the labour force, which means, we don't know about what's actually happened to the actual labour force. We have no idea because that's just a percentage of it. We don't know what happened. So that is complete rubbish. Right, unemployment was the highest when prices were at their lowest. Unemployment was at its highest. Okay, unemployment is at its highest here. When prices, well, there's nothing about prices on this whole thing, so that's wrong. We don't even know what's going on with prices. And real GDP was its lowest in 2000. Now, this is wrong for the same reason why we were saying A is right, because we know all this way through, GDP has actually been going up. So in 1997, GDP went up by 10%. In 1998, it went up by 8%. Then it went up by another 9%. Then it went up by another 10 and a bit percent. So actually, it's just completely wrong. It's just massively wrong. So actually, real GDP was actually its highest in 2000. So the answer is A. Right, we love this. What's the instrument of monetary policy? We know monetary policy is the base rate. We know it is to do with the money supply. And we know it's also to do with the exchange rate. My handwriting's getting worse and worse with these videos. Anyway, so income tax, we know that's fiscal policy, because fiscal policy is FYSI-G&T, government spending and taxation, so it's not that one either. National insurance, again, is tax, so the only answer could be D. Okay, on to question number 4. An economy is operating below its trend rate of growth and simultaneously experiencing inflation and a deficit this is trying to kill you, and a deficit on the balance of trade. All other things being equal, a reduction in the rate of income tax is most likely to lead to a decrease in. Right, let's work out where this country is at the minute, right? Now, it is operating below its trend rate of growth. Wow. So, if I was to do a diagram for this, it is in this bit. And we always know in this bit there's going to be unemployment because it's got a negative output gap. So that's where it is. It's also experiencing inflation, bizarrely. Which means it must be happening from cost push, maybe, because it can't be a demand pull inflation. And a deficit on its trade balance, that means they're importing more than they're exporting. So we know those 3 facts. So let's see whether they mean anything to do with this question. A reduction in the rate of income tax is most likely to lead to a decrease in the... So anyway, a reduction in the rate of income tax, we know, normally makes AD go up, because that's what we've got for this one. So is that most likely to lead to a decrease in the inflation rate? No, that's going to cause inflation to go up. That's wrong. Is it likely to lead to a decrease in the level of employment? Yes, because if there's an increase in AD, there'll be a reduction in cyclical unemployment, because that's where the economy is down here. So it's going to be, and it's being caused by not enough AD in the economy. Right? Is it going to decrease rate of economic growth? No. And is it going to decrease the balance of payment deficit? No, it will actually make it worse, because if we're spending more money, we might be buying more imports. Right, what they've done with this question is they've given you loads of information, and 90% of it means nothing. Really, they could cut all this stuff at the beginning, all of it, and just say, a reduction in the rate of income tax is most likely to do this, and that's it. It's all just there to scare. Right, question number 6. A fall in consumption is most likely to. Now we know a fall in consumption makes AD go down, because it's C plus I plus G plus X minus M. So, a fall in consumption is most likely to increase the deficit on the current account and the balance of payments. Actually, that's going to improve our deficit on the current account, because remember, current account and the balance of payments means trade balance. If we are buying less stuff, we're going to be buying less imports, which is actually going to be good for our trade balance. A fall in the consumption is most likely to reduce the budget deficit. No. And not in lots of ways. Is it going to increase our productive capacity? No, because productive capacity will only happen from a Q squared cell point of view, and there's none of that going on. A fall in consumption is most likely to reduce inflation, because there could be inflation because of demand pull. So a fall in consumption would reduce demand, which would reduce demand pull inflation. Right, question number 7. As a component of AD, consumption is best defined as. Now, we've seen this a million times. And what do? They try and have the most complicated one possible. Everyone goes, well, it must be the complicated one, but it's not. It's just that one. It's expenditure by households on goods and services. Right, question number 8. All other things being equal. Don't care. Which of the following is most likely to lead to an increase in imports? A fall in. Right, when it says exchange rate, you know you're writing WIDEC. Is that going to cause an increase in imports? No, it's going to cause a decrease in imports, because imports are dear. So that's wrong. Right, next one. I almost got done by this. It's a fall in. Right, if there's a fall in national income, that means national income is saying like GDP. And basically, national income, the amount of money people have got. If national income goes down, people have got less money, they're spending less. So therefore, there'll be a decrease in imports. Right, if government is spending less, again, that makes AD go down. When AD goes down, that's going to make imports go down, because we're not buying as many imports. Whereas this would make sense. If people aren't saving, what must they be doing? They must be spending. And if they're spending, they could be buying imports. So that would actually lead to an increase in imports. And the answer is D. Right, question number 9. The government has recently increased its expenditure on health and education. In the short run, what's this most likely to do? Now remember, this is short run. In the long run, it might make the... In the long run, it might make the AS line go out, because it's a thing that could increase the productive capacity of the economy. But anyway, in the short run, it's just C plus I plus G. So an increase in government spending will make AD go up. So without even looking at the question, now I can see the answers. The answer is C. Okay, question number 10, one of my favourites. I love these sort of ones. Which diagram best illustrates economic growth occurring? Now we know economic growth happens when the LRAS goes to the right. So let's cross out the ones it can't be. It's not going to be the AD one. It's not going to be that AD one either. So it can only be one of these two. And it's got to be the one where LRAS is going to the right. So the answer is C. Right, 11. Which of the following events is most likely to be caused by a rise in the exchange rate of the pound? Again, we love this, because as soon as you see rise in the exchange rate, you write spiced. And you know, when there's a strong pound, imports are cheap, exports are dear. So that will lead to AD going down, because we won't be selling the exports and we'll be buying imports. Okay. An increase in foreign investment in new factories in the UK economy. Now we'll go back to that in a second, right? What's likely to be caused by a rise in the exchange rate? A rise in the rate of inflation? No, because AD is going down, so we know it's not that. An increase in spending on imports? Yeah, because imports are cheap, so we're going to be buying them, so that's right. Increase in international competitiveness of domestically produced goods? No, we're going to be less competitive because exports are dear. So, why is it not A? An increase in foreign investment into new factories in the UK. Well, when exports are dear, that basically means the UK is expensive. So firms are not going to want to invest put in new factories in the UK, because also when they try and then export it to other places, it'll be too expensive. So the answer is C. Right, really, really easy. Which one shows the shape of an economy's short run AS? It's just this one. So it's B. Simple as that. Like, there's no like clever talking about that. Let's go through the other ones really quickly. This is the LRAS. This is a this is just wrong. This is a PPF with the wrong labels. And this is AD. Question number 13. The economy's short-run aggregate supply curve will shift to the left. Now we know short-run aggregate supply is to do with cost of production. So, if it's shifting to the left, the cost of production has gone up because firms are therefore going to supply less. So which of these ones would cause the cost of production to go up? Right, labour productivity increasing would make cost of production go down, so it's the wrong way. Exchange rate rises would affect AD, so it's irrelevant. And I could see why it would be relevant, because you might say they might get their imports from abroad. But if the exchange rate rises, it'd be strong pound, imports cheap, exports dear. And if imports were cheap, they might get their cheap raw materials from abroad. So actually it would make it shift to the right. Anyway, wage rates rising, that's obviously it. Because if wage rates rising, cost of production goes down. Sorry, cost of production goes up, so therefore firms make less stuff. Finally, D, budget deficit increases. When the budget deficit increases, that affects demand, because it'd be C plus I plus G, because the government will be spending more. So it's not D, the answer is C. 2 more to go. Right, control of inflation in the economy is most likely to be effective if there is an increase in, right, productivity. Oh, that's going to be it. I'll tell you why in a second. If there's an increase in exports, AD will go up. If there's an increase in consumption, AD will go up. If there's an increase in welfare benefits, AD will go up because people will have more money. All those things will lead to demand pull. So you know it's the other one anyway, productivity. But the reason why it's productivity is if firms become more productive, the AS curve will go to the right. And as you can see, that makes the price level go down. So it's easier to control inflation. Right, last question, 15. Which of the following is a component of aggregate demand? This is a lovely one they've given you, just to be nice at the end. Well, it's not savings, we know that. We know it's not taxation, we know it's not price level, it's exports. Because it's C plus I plus G plus X minus M. And there we are, that's the 4th video done.